sleeves and a collar, you know things are about to get serious. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So David from How to Beast recently put out a response video to the video I made and the few that Greg made about his TRT usage. I'm sure many of you have already seen it, but if you haven't seen it yet, you should go check it out. I watched the entire thing, you know, it was a very cute video. He sits down in his kitchen, has on a nice, white shirt to show how pure and honest and open he is, and has a nice monotone voice with some chill music in the background while he goes over to the things that Greg said and the things that I said. Obviously there are going to be some disagreements. That's the whole point of making a response, right? You talk about the things that you disagree with. And after watching the video, there was really only one thing that I guess I probably should have elaborated on a bit more. Sometimes, when I get into my rants, we'll call them, the passion is coming through and I just get so angry. I mess up sometimes, so I'll admit that. The part where he talks about the 1500 nanograms per deciliter, where he was actually feeling like crap.
My total T was up at 1500. It was actually above 1500, which is super high. That's not where I'm trying to be. I'm trying to stay right at the high end of the normal range. And I took my blood pressure a few times. It got as high as 145/95. I was scared. I did not feel good. And immediately I decided to go back to the old pharmacy. After a few weeks, everything went back to normal.
So he went and got his blood work redone and he lowered it to still be in the higher range, which I don't think he says what the higher range is. I know he started at 514 nanograms per deciliter. So if he was gonna be towards the higher end, which is 1020, he's probably sitting somewhere between, 850 and maybe 1100 nanograms per deciliter, within that range, okay? So he's still at the tippity top of the high end, so he can continue to make gains. And I should have probably been more clear in my video because he does say that he wants to take TRT to get bigger and to get stronger. That was one of the intended usages of him jumping on TRT.
And this will hopefully allow me to have more energy every day and make some more gains in the gym too. But I'm also a bro who likes working out. A lot of my YouTube content's about fitness, so I'd be lying if I said I wasn't also very curious about what type of gains I would see.
And he also talks a lot about quality of life, improving quality of life. And there's some things that he says that I still don't agree with. I still stand behind the entire messaging behind my video, which is making all these videos and being open and honest is desensitizing his audience to want to try TRT, and we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to do my best in this video to keep it chill and make it nice and conversational between us. So if you came here for the neck veins, you'll probably still see them poking out, but I need to find that balance between being super pissed off and then getting my points across, because if I go a little too much on the angry side, I don't get all my points out, which it's probably why he didn't quite understand everything I was trying to say in my video. So let's jump into that right now. Now, out of the gate, I want to talk about something he says in the very beginning of his video.
So I figured that if TRT is a safe, legal way for me to improve my body and take it to the next level, and that can help me attract some more followers, give me a little bit more legitimacy in this space, then it's worth it.
And this is probably one of the things that I have the most issues with. And this is why I started making videos responding to the BS, in fitness, especially YouTube fitness. As you guys know, the majority of my content is educational. I've even done videos on TRT. I'll link to one right here, a couple years ago. But YouTube fitness has gotten so toxic and so fake that I just could no longer stay in my own little area, my own little niche of being educational. In fact, I feel like trying to stay in that space and ignoring all the bullshit is what made it explode even more. It went unchecked. It went unregulated. And a lot of you guys say, really silly things like, why can't you just leave other people alone? Just let them do their thing. Don't, stay in your lane and focus on you. Don't focus on other people. It's like, do you guys even understand how society works? You're pretty pathetic if you think bad things stop happening because you ignore them. What happens is they get worse, which is why YouTube is so toxic and why channels like mine are now starting to make videos like this, because it's almost like I have to re-educate a lot of my subscribers who have been brainwashed to think that the things that David says are really coming from a good place. Maybe in David's head he believes they are, but at the end of the day, it's BS and I can see through it, and that's why I'm making this video. So one of the first things that David says, that he wanted to improve his quality of life with TRT, okay? And I feel like that's just kind of like a go-to thing. I'm noticing a lot of these young guys that are jumping on TRT, one of the first things they say is they want to improve their quality of life. And then you look at their Instagram, and you look at their social media, and they're traveling, they're super ripped, they look great, they're hanging out with all kinds of girls, all the friends they hang out with are in super great shape. So it really just goes to show you that pretty much you're gonna do the things that your friends do, right? So if you're hanging out around a bunch of people that aren't natty, and all they do is talk about how strong they feel, how great they feel, how powerful they feel, you're going to start to think that you probably don't feel as strong and powerful as you thought you did because you're not taking the same drugs that they are. So what do? You convince yourself that your quality of life sucks so that you can get on the quality of life that they're on. Guys, like as soon as you start injecting more testosterone in your body, you start to feel like super strong and powerful. All my friends who inject testosterone, they say you just feel unstoppable. And as soon as they go on PCT, that feeling goes away. So I'm like, oh, so you basically feel like a normal person, okay? Maybe that was a bad joke, but you understand what I'm saying. So what really, like quality of life, what, you wake up in the morning and you're a little tired, or you're not getting enough sleep, or maybe you're eating like shit. Get more sleep, clean up your diet, balance your schedule, because that's really what you need to do. If you feel like your quality of life is bad, but you still have normal testosterone levels, clean up your diet, rebalance your life, and get focused. Maybe I was just born in an era where men, were men, and they didn't complain and look for outside drugs or things to fix their problems. They just fixed them on their own. But then he says this, he wanted to attract more followers, and he wanted to gain more legitimacy because he is in the fitness space and he does make fitness videos.
And that can help me attract some more followers, give me a little bit more legitimacy in this space.
So this is my problem. Since when does taking steroids or TRT make you more legitimate? This is a huge problem. What he sees is people around him, or maybe other Instagram pages that he follows, getting a lot more likes than he is, a lot more comments than he is, growing faster than he is, and all of these things started to make him self-conscious, and so he convinced himself that in order to be more legitimate and gain more followers, he's got to jump on something. And in his mind, TRT, he says it himself,
TRT is a safe, legal way for me to improve my body and take it to the next level.
It's the more safe and legal way to do it. So basically what that says to me, if he thought steroids were safe and legal, well, I would say more legal is probably what weighs more here. If steroids were legal, he'd probably do those. But you can't promote a website and a promo code with something that's illegal. But with TRT, it's safe and legal, and he can promote it. And he discusses a lot of things I said in his video to kind of debunk what I was saying, but not once does he address the fact that, hey, he says, I always tell my followers that they shouldn't do TRT. It's a life-changing decision. It says that he recommends not to do it unless you absolutely need it.
And first of all, I explicitly state in every single video that I don't encourage other people to do it and that there's negative side effects.
But still post the link in the code in the description as if his young and impressionable followers aren't going to click on it. I mean, think about it. His testosterone levels were normal. There were 514 nanograms per deciliter. There's no need for any doctor to prescribe him any testosterone. He's fine. He's in that normal range. He even admits in his video that he went on TRT because one of the intended effects was he wanted to get bigger and stronger.
And this will hopefully allow me to have more energy every day and make some more gains in the gym too.
So if you can go through this company, get your blood work done, and have a normal testosterone level, okay, and then still tell them you want more because you want to get bigger and stronger, and they give it to you, that means that all these impressionable kids that are watching your videos, your 7 videos in your playlist where you have all these titles that are meant to entice them to watch, because let's face it, You admit it in your own video. We're YouTubers. We need to make content. We need to make money. So you're making these videos purposely in such a way to get more eyes on them, and then you're promoting this link. You admit that your testosterone levels were normal, but one of the main reasons why you wanted to jump on TRT was to get bigger and stronger and see how hard you could push your body. And then after doing all of that, in your videos you're like, hey, but you shouldn't do it. I'm doing it because I wanted to improve my quality of life and I wanted to get bigger and stronger, but you should definitely not do TRT because it's a life-changing decision, and then you're stuck on injections your entire life. And that's where we see through the BS, right? This generation, we know that they are constantly looking for shortcuts. They are, I'm sorry. And a lot of my subscribers that are watching my video, you know it's true. If there was a shortcut I could give you right now to get bigger and more ripped, you would take it and do it. Who wouldn't, right? Hard work is hard. It takes time. Seeing progress takes time. Cleaning up your diet takes time. Getting more sleep takes time away from cleaning up your diet and training more, and all the other things that you're trying to do in your life. So at the end of the day, guys, it goes like this. It really, David, it doesn't matter how many times in your videos you're telling your subscribers and your viewers to not do something. You're still sensationalizing the idea of TRT at a young age when you already have normal levels, and you are desensitizing your audience as you continue to make videos. I mean, I get it. I honestly believe that you believe in your head that you're doing the right thing. And you also talk about in your video how you have a decision when you start making these unprecedented gains. You can either be honest with your community or you can lie to them.
You have to realize when I made the decision to do it for my own reasons, I have two choices. Be open about it or lie and hide it.
And you made it very clear that you want to be honest, and I respect that. But you can be honest in one video and then be done with it and not continue to desensitize your audience and basically glorify how amazing you feel on TRT. You can do one video and be like, hey guys, I want to take my gains to the next level. I'm going to train really hard, but I'm also going to jump on TRT so I can boost my natural levels to mid-range to the upper end of what's considered normal for the average person. And then you can say what that was. You can even say, how you're doing it, but you can get all that done in one video and be honest. As soon as you made videos 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm sure you're going to make more, now you're getting into the point where, yeah, maybe you were honest in the first video, but clearly now you're using it as a way to gain attention and views. I don't know, guys. Maybe it's because I'm a little older and I see things differently than you. Maybe it's because I've been around. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot in my life. I've met all kinds of people. I've heard all kinds of stories. So for me, I don't get distracted by things like this. I don't get distracted by what people call honesty. I look and see what they're doing and I call it as it is. Maybe I need to work on my delivery more. Maybe I need to be a bit more chill and mellow like this when I talk about important subjects. But at the end of the day, guys, when I started my channel, it was never to steer you down the wrong path. I'm very open and honest with all of you guys. I'm 35 years old. I'm going to be 36 in October. I still feel great, my workouts are great, I'm still natural, and I will never jump on any kind of medication or drug unless I absolutely had to. I don't think my quality of life is less just because I have a little bit of depression and anxiety and I'm tired sometimes. You know how I deal with depression and anxiety and being tired? I get more sleep and then I go to the gym and that's where I vent my depression and my anxiety. That's always been what's worked for me, ever since I was a kid. That's why I started training. I had a little bit of depression, I was picked on in school, had a little anxiety, went to the gym, worked it out, got all the anger out of my system, felt great, built a career out of it, and now we're here. I want to make sure that as I continue to make videos like this, where I talk about things that I disagree with in the industry, mostly probably on YouTube, because that's where a lot of the videos are, I really want to make sure that I'm getting my message across in such a way where you guys are absorbing what I am saying. And I need to work on that. I'm going to continue to work on that. I'm going to try to level out my emotions in my videos. I can still be very stern and get my points across without the neck veins going crazy. Although I can't promise that it's always going to be under control, but for the most part, I'm going to do my best to keep it under control because I want you guys to trust me, and I want you guys to see that I have your best interest in mind. So at the end of the day, David, you know what? I truly believe that in your head, you think you're being open and you're being honest and you're telling kids like, hey, you know, I'm doing this for this reasons. You definitely shouldn't do it. It's a life-changing thing that you're gonna do here. And the fact remains that they can still go to the same place you go to get your testosterone. They can get their blood work back. It can say they're in the normal range, but they can still ask for more because that's exactly what you did. That's what you're promoting in your videos. That's what you say because you say you wanted to get bigger, you wanted to get stronger. These are all things that without realizing it, maybe you don't realize it, that you are promoting to your viewers.